The key to success on the field and in your backyard is a comprehensive game plan. So if you're building a fence or a deck this year, trust a Turkstra coach to design, quote, or order the right materials for your project. Visit a Turkstra Lumber near you to learn more.
From the Ticats Audio Network, this is the Coach O Show with Luke Tasker.
Welcome back to the Coach O Show with Luke Tasker. The regular season is done, and it is playoff time, Coach. Very excited, and you guys are heading right back to Montreal, coming off of a loss in this last regular season, ending 22-20 there in Montreal. But now this Saturday, November 4th, a 3 p.m. kickoff back in Montreal, and it is go time, do or die. Ticats Audio Network coverage will start before the game. We'll have all your playoff coverage throughout the Ticats game day there. Coach, you're in between these two trips to Montreal. Like we said, ended 22-20 in Montreal. Of course, had no bearings on the standings, but now you're in playoff prep, and maybe just give us your impression of that last regular season game.
Yeah, I think that we went out there and got some information. And obviously, you go out there to win the football game. That was the disappointing part. But we had put ourselves in position to win there at the end, and that's what playoff football is about. And it's a couple of games in a row where if you have the ball last, you're going to have a great opportunity to come out in the win column. With that being said, it's a physical game. Both teams. Obviously, we're going after one another, and everybody got to play a few different people. So I think the big thing is we did come out of it, nicked but not injured, and we're just really looking forward to putting that behind us and moving on here to this playoff game.
Yeah, right. Healthy was one of the goals of that week. If you were given the choice before that game to take a 22-20 loss but have no major injuries, would you have taken it?
Oh no, I don't like the word loss. I can't lie. I can't lie. And that I don't mind injuries. I don't like any major injuries. Like I think everybody's actually injured after a game, but right. I just can't subscribe to the loss part. Yeah. So no, I'd rather play the game again.
I like it. Yes, you're right. Everyone is injured after. They say a football game is similar to a car accident on the physical toll of your body and your central nervous system. It's we can't forget how intense this is. The thing that we do here, but defensively. Not a bad game in Montreal. Montreal has the fewest offensive touchdowns in the CFL across the league, and your defense played them pretty well. Of course, holding 9 first downs the whole game was your defensive production there, which is pretty spectacular. Montreal averaged 18 first downs a game throughout the season, which was sort of middle of the road, lower half of the league. And of course, 7 of their points came off of a very, very short field to start the game. From your defense, though, what are you looking for them to improve in this last final gain here before you head to the playoffs?
Well, shoot, like you said, there was a short porch there on the one, and the other one we lined up for an extra point due to special teams. So I thought the effort and the execution was outstanding. I think I can say. I don't think I've ever been or seen a game in the 20 plus years I've been part of the CFL where I think their second down percentage was somewhere below 10% on conversion. I think they were like 1 of 15 or something odd like that. And I don't know if you can do it any better than that, to be honest with you. And that doesn't mean we don't strive to get better, but that just tells you that football is the ultimate team game. And so you can have a stellar performance in one area, and that could be offense or special teams. And, we've said it even when you played, Luke, it's usually pretty favorable when you can come out in 2 of 3 phases where it just seems to, unscientifically work out that way, that if you can dominate two of the 3 phases, you've got a great chance to show up in the win column. So defensively, we got to tackle, if you want to get into specifics, analytically, we did pretty damn good. At the same time, there's still missed tackles out there. You're always going to be encouraging more effort, more energy, more physical. But overall, definitely pleased with how we played. It's going to be hard to ever hear me say that I'm satisfied.
Yeah. They did have 1 second down conversion. Montreal did in the game. That was a 7% stat. That's not really that's out of this world.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like you're gonna be hard pressed to find anything like that again.
Yeah. In the entire first half, there was 1 second down conversion actually, and it's unusual to have a game like that in one of the 3 phases where it's kind of dominant, but the Montreal scores came and they kind of circumstances led to their scores in other ways. So interesting. Offensively, on the other side of it, limited success. I imagine you were hoping to see some better production in that last game.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to find a way. They're a good defense, and they're going to always change up their looks and be challenging there. But I think we got to find a way to start a little bit faster, obviously, and turning the ball over on the opening kickoff, fumbling on a bubble screen there. Those are just drive killers, right? Yeah. And that's and so you're not really afforded what you can do, and they are part of the game, but they're no fun when they're on your side of the ball. So. It's disappointed in the overall, production of it. Encouraged in a lot of facets. I thought our double teams were strong. I thought we ran the ball there when they knew we were going to run it. I thought we had some good second down conversions. We had a good amount of explosions when we needed it. It's not always just what shows up in the stat line, but it's when they happen, on key situations. So, we're going to need to play better in all 3 phases if we look to advance. Yeah.
Again, statistically, in a lot of the categories, Hamilton offense versus Montreal offense, you actually won the battle. More net offense, more passing, more rushing, more first downs, more second down conversions. So, in my mind, if I hadn't watched the game and I was just looking at the stat sheets, it just goes, okay, you lost because of turnovers. Is it that simple, or is that not a true analysis?
Yeah, I think it's the timing of it, right? And even though you'd see time of possession, we had the edge there, but it's where those turnovers are happening and sometimes when. So definitely, we turned our season when we started taking the ball away and we took care of the ball better, and it just showed up here that the special teams touchdowns were kind of a neutralizer. The difference is they had the short porch, if you will, there, and we weren't able to hold them to a field goal there. And sometimes it's the timing of it. It's the rhythm. Are we turning it over with the wind or against the wind? Those are other things that analytics don't talk about. And, those make a difference. And in the punting game, we're going to have to get better punt placement in certain areas there. And so when we're able to flip the field, if they do get a field goal, we got to find a way to get a first down, and then we should be able to flip the field there with some sort of a decent punt, and obviously with great coverage. And we were pretty average in that area that week, and we're going to need to improve in that area.
Yeah, it was a dynamic special teams game across the board. So you've got the big returns both ways. You've got turnovers. And then Montreal with the very interesting play that I always was fascinated by. It's an amazing CFL rule and play where we saw Montreal, as they've done once before this season, sort of pooch punt the ball across the line of scrimmage and then recover it, resetting the downs on a very, very long 2nd and 20 or whatever. Second and a million in the CFL, you can punt the ball just across the line of scrimmage and recover it. You were onside as the punter, and they did that. That's an interesting play to put on film before the playoffs. Is that something? I mean, you kind of have to have some sort of answer to that on a 2nd and long now, right?
Oh, I think so. And obviously that's the second time they've converted that, so it's something that they spend time on, and they've reaped the fruit from it. And I think to the contrary of that, they probably have another play off of it. So we definitely need to be aware of it. Probably need to put it in. And it's in the rules, and they executed it nice, and we learned our lesson from it.
Yeah, it's a fascinating part of the CFL that you could easily forget about. That our kicking game is very different than the American version. Coach, back to your offense here. Do you have easy to say that Bo, didn't have a wonderful game production while he was in there, but you also saw a bunch of drops. You saw very, very heavy pressure. How do you grade out Bo's performance?
Yeah, I thought it was gritty. I thought he showed some elusiveness there. There was we had a couple protection breakdowns, definitely some disappointing drops. And so, he didn't get helped out in that way, and we didn't really run the ball effectively to offset any of that. And I also think we were backed up there early, and so, I thought Bo did a decent job for the protection that he had and for where we were at in the game.
Yeah. Do you have a difficult decision to make this week at quarterback?
I think we have two great quarterbacks. That's not a thing on Loxley at all. There's tough decisions across the board when you start getting into playoff mode. There's people that are vying for playoff spots, and that starts in special teams, all the way to the quarterback position. So you want to have tough decisions to be made, and the goal is always to put the best combination of people out there to win. So I don't look at it as tough decisions. It's a tough sport. That's what we're paid to do. And, we'll go out here and practice hard, prepare to win. And, starting here with day one today.
Yeah. Cool. Let's get to a fan question here, Coach. As always, listeners and fans, you can send a question for me to ask Coach O. We pick one every episode, and you can send that to gameday@ticats.ca. We'll continue that right through the Grey Cup as we wrap up the 2023 season over the next month. This question today is from Jason. Coach, when you play back-to-back against the same team, will you stay in that city for the whole week or travel back home? Are there any tricks to make the team comfortable? After a loss in the first game, will you change hotels the next week? And vice versa, if you were to win, would you repeat everything from the week before? Good luck in the playoffs, Jason. And I have a shortcut answer because I can see Coach's office behind his head at Tim Hortons Field right now.
Yeah. Jason, no, it's a fair question. There's a bunch of them mixed in there. So, no, we will not stay in Montreal for the week. That may be something that you may consider. We've done some long weeks. I know, Luke, you've been part of a few of those where we stayed in Calgary, not necessarily playing the same team, but we played Edmonton and, you do that sort of thing. But no, we come back and we'll stay in our own homes and beds and practice on our own field. With that being said, and that wouldn't change if we would have won last week or even if we went undefeated all season. That's something. I'm not a huge superstitious guy at all. Never really have been. So the hotel's already etched in stone. So that's already kind of done with the league and everything during the playoffs. So it's not like you can just hotel hop and grab 50 rooms. Sometimes it's not that easy. Everything doesn't stay the same on a win, and everything doesn't change on a loss would be my most direct answer there, Jason.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And I do remember, Jason, when we lost the Grey Cup in 13 in Regina to Sask. Everyone will remember it was effectively a home. You couldn't have more of a home energy at a Grey Cup than that 2013. And we went out the first week of the season in 2014 and stayed in the same hotel, played Sask again at Mosaic. It was brutal, to be honest with you. It was like deja vu of the whole thing. But interesting point there, Jason. Thank you for the question. Again, you can send those to gameday@ticats.ca. As you get ready for this playoff game and you're looking back at the film from last week, is there a surprise from Montreal? Are you prepping for something that you didn't expect to have to prepare for? Are you what did you learn about them as you get ready for these playoffs?
Well, obviously they did some things differently in that game than they had done, maybe defensively and things like that. But we expected that, and we showed different looks too, and things like that. So yeah, it's we can't really worry so much about what it is they're gonna do or come up with. because you don't know. There's only a small percentage of you that's going to be correct. What you can do is just study who their main players are, who are their disruptors on defense, who are their key people on special teams, offensively, who are they trying to get the ball to, those sorts of things. And then you just game plan around that. And, we'll give them different looks too. And ultimately it's going to boil down to football. And so the chess match, there will be some chess match, obviously in game, and in-game adjustments are always key. Sometimes you need to make a lot. Sometimes you just stay the course. Things are kind of going at least semi according to plan, and you just roll with it. So I think the biggest thing is for us is clean up some of the stuff where we were a little bit raggedy, maybe not as sharp as we needed to be, and just continue to prep and let the players perform.
The Coach O Show with Luke Tasker is presented by Turkstra Lumber. Check out the project coaches at Turkstra Lumber. They can help with every part of your home reno, from designing a deck to ordering a new front door. Learn more at TurkstraLumber.com. And I'd like to say a big thanks to Turkstra for the whole regular season and their fantastic partnership and sponsor of the Coach O Show with Luke Tasker. Yes. Coach, that's a wrap on the regular season for the Coach O Show. So thank you. It's been fantastic, and I'm looking forward to the last month that we have here together as we move forward to the big game in Hamilton in a few weeks.
Yeah, we'll see you there. But first things first, let's handle Montreal. Looking forward to it. Thanks for another awesome regular season. Looking forward to an even better postseason.
Another episode of the Coach O Show with Luke Tasker is in the books. Let us know your thoughts. Email us at gameday@ticats.ca. Coach O and Luke are back next week to discuss the latest from the locker room. Subscribe to the Ticats Audio Network on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.